MovieHolics! Hey guys, I'm Kyler Wilson, and we have a very special episode for you today. But before you move on, make sure to click this little MovieHolics logo right over here, and then subscribe to our page. Takes 2 clicks. Just click, 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 click. Just do it. Okay, great. Now that you've clicked, you can continue. You might remember a few months ago, I reviewed a trailer for a film called Predator: Dark Ages. Well, that fan film has come out, and I've watched it, and Monica watched it, and we reviewed it, and it was awesome. The treat is the filmmakers agreed to do an interview with us. Now, unfortunately, Monica couldn't be here to do the interview with me because we have real jobs, and she had to attend hers today. But it was still a blast, and I'm very happy that we got to do it, so without further ado, here's the interview. Awesome. What I'd like to do is just open up and have you guys introduce yourselves so that we can all get to know you a little bit, and then we'll get right into it. So, James, if you'd like to start.
Okay, yeah, my name's James Bush. I'm a director, writer. I've done a few short films, Cannibals and Carpet Fitters, Blackouts. I like my horror comedies. They do quite well in America. I've been to quite a few festivals. And I also have a big love for Predator, so that was my next ambition to do a short film.
Excellent. And Simon, how about yourself?
I do TV commercials, online commercials. Started out doing special effects, so Snow White and the Huntsman, loads of indie films and everything else. Moved from special effects into production, and production into camera work. So quite a few different jobs in the last few years, but I've sort of found my calling, I think.
Excellent.
And I do that, and TV commercials and online commercials and short films and features.
Very cool, man. Very cool. I mean, just so you guys kind of know a little bit about me, I got started in, I just walked out of my job one day. I was done with the corporate world, and I'm like, I'm gonna go make movies. So I took off and I joined film school, and I did a year of film school, and realized that through my own educating myself, I had really learned more than film school was ever gonna teach me. So yeah, I mean, and so I just got out and I started working, and that was about 5 years ago now, and I've worked on everything from feature-length films with Robin Williams to I did 2 seasons on a TV show over here in the States called Nashville.
My wife's favorite show.
Oh yeah, the best nighttime soap on there, right? So yeah, I work in production to pay the bills, but I also write and direct and shoot and all that stuff as well. Trying to kick that all off. So
you're a part of production team, are you?
Yeah. Yep, you got it. Yeah, I started off as a PA, and have worked my way up to I do a lot of AD work now, and yeah, that's kind of who I am. So yeah, that being said, also, whenever I saw the trailer for Predator or the Dark Ages, I originally thought that it was a Hollywood thing, and I was so offended when I watched it, because I was like, it's just Hollywood trying to do another cash grab, and then I did some research, and I'm like, oh no, it's not. This is actually really cool because it's being done by fans, and so that's where my original review of the trailer came from, and then I was excited.
That
it was good.
So yeah. Anyways, we'll get right into some questions here. I've got a list of stuff for you guys. So some of them are wacky and crazy, and some of them are obviously more legit. If Predator were one of the large cat breeds, which cat breed would he be?
Panther.
Panther.
Panther, man.
All right.
Panther or it's got to be a leopard because it blends in. There you go.
Okay.
Jungle leopard.
I say lion because he's quite proud. He likes to, he thinks he's like Lord of the Manor, doesn't he? But I think leopard actually is a good one.
All right, leopard. I'm digging it. All right, warm up over. So you guys obviously you watched my review, and I talked about how Arnie had a bunch of machine guns and a crew of people to take out the Predator, and just barely walked away with his life. So what made you pit this advanced alien species against swords and daggers?
Well, I think when you think about it, all the Arnie's team with all the guns, they fired all that ammo off in the forest, and they shot him once in the knee. So, in all fairness, the guns didn't really work. It was Arnie with some mud, bow and arrow, spear.
He had exactly what the dark...
Danny Glover, it all come to Danny Glover with the frisbee thing.
Right?
Adrian Brody, log.
Nothing. Yeah.
You bring up a good point. I didn't even really think about that.
All the people with the guns never seem to hit him and get killed really quickly.
Arnie's just, left with a sharpened bit of wood. At least the Templar Knights have a sword or two, So whereas Arnie...
He did have sort of grenade spears, but still, he dropped the log on his head at the end.
Well,
yeah.
So what made you guys choose the Dark Ages?
Well, I've been a big fan of Predator since I was very young, and I'm also a big fan of medieval films. Just I love all that stuff, and it was a drunken conversation in the pub years ago, talking about if got to Hollywood, what movies could we do, and Predator come up, and then merging it with different ideas. And the minute Knights come up, I was sold. To me, it's the perfect combination for me. I was like, I would dig that as a Predator fan. That works. So from that point on, it's in the back of my head for a few years. Just one day I'll go to Fox, I'm big in Hollywood, and I'll be like, hey, let's reboot the series, and here's my idea.
Right.
But about 2 years ago, I realised that's never going to happen. So it started forming into a fan trailer.
What a huge undertaking, though. I mean, with the horses and the costumes and everything. I'll skip.
Didn't start off like that.
Yeah, I'm sure it did.
Start off like that. I mean, James told me in a pub when I first met him after a few beers, and he said, "Oh, I know this guy with the Predator suit. What do you think of the idea of doing Predator in the Middle Ages or something?" And I said, yeah, count me in. That's on my bucket list of things to do in life.
Right.
So I'm like, no matter what, I'm going to do that with you, even though I've just met you. And we'd never worked together before this film. We just got on well, and I think that's the key to any director and DOP relationship. And and then we were like, oh well, let's try and do a trailer, and let's try and do something. Let's see how we do on Kickstarter. And even after that meeting in the pub, I contacted a friend who's a stunt guy, and James was like, "You're never going to get horses. You're never going to get horses." The next day, I called him up, going, "I've got 6 horses."
It was brilliant. I was like, really?
Oh, I can imagine, man. Oh Lord, 6 horses. That's pretty crazy. And I mean,
actually, they actually turn around and say, "We've got 5 horses, so someone's going to have to ride on 2 on a horse." So that is why Saeed rides on the back of the horse.
Oh, okay.
5 fucking horses. Plus, he didn't bring a horse from Jerusalem, so
right.
It makes sense.
That's funny. That's good stuff, man. So what about the length? I mean, it's a short film, but for all intents and purposes. But were you originally setting out to do something feature length, or was it always intended to be about 30 minutes?
Yeah, I mean, when it originally started, the first idea was to just make a really good 4-minute trailer for this fake feature film, put it out there, fool everyone, could be quite cool.
Gotcha.
But then Simon was like, no, we should maybe make this into a short. So we started expanding it, and it was a bit longer. It was never going to be too much longer. I think it would have been about 40 minutes or so.
Gotcha.
But we literally played it on the Kickstarter campaign. We waited to see what we got, and then we'd sort of scale it either backwards or, regarding the budget. And it didn't quite hit as much as we wanted with the Kickstarter, so we made a slightly smaller version.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, 5,000 was to make a trailer.
That was just for the trailer.
Yeah, and then the last minute, one of the backers said, "Well, did you need any more money?" And we said, "Well, yeah, we need another $5,000 or so." And so he was like, so just to make it, and he was like, "Okay, well, I'll send it over now." And so we're like, "Cool, okay."
Simon was like, "Listen, we're gonna have to make a short film on the 5,000," and I was like, "No, it will be terrible. We will be so stretched.
Right.
It's gonna have 4 people in the forest for 5 minutes, and that's it." Yep. But he was like, "Kickstarter people would be disappointed."
Oh, that's awesome though. That on the 13th hour, right?
Yeah.
Oh, very cool, man. So skipping ahead as far as the budget is concerned. I'm 10,000. That is really, really impressive to take that amount of money and make the product that you guys did. I mean, you have giant aerial shots and you have the horses and all that stuff. Like, was this just a movie built on favors, or did you really make
Yeah,
that 10 grand work?
just sexual favors. Just pure sexual favors.
Pain.
It was James came to me like because I'd previously produced a small commercials company in London, and so I kind of knew what I was doing in terms of producing, and we needed someone who was like long term from the beginning, which was kind of me, and James was co-producing. So between me and him, we basically produced for like a year until we actually started filming, and then other people took over when we were filming.
Gotcha.
But it was through my relative's land that we shot on. We got the heli guys, like they just wanted to be part of a Predator film.
Yeah.
They had actually an octocopter with a Movi rig beneath the helicopter, but beneath it,
Wow.
with the new GH4 on it, shooting 4K. So that was GH4 graded like the Area Mira, and so it was all kind of matched up. And there's even 2 stock footage shots in the whole film, and I bet you can't spot them.
I have.
In fact, there's 3.
I have
There's
no
3
idea.
stock footage. Yeah. There's 3 stock footage, and no one's mentioned it. No one's mentioned it.
Wow.
So that's color grading for you. So yeah, no, so we got land, we got accommodation, we got food, we got actors, we got most of the crew, all for free, basically, just because they liked the idea of it, they wanted to be a part of it, and when people were there, they said, "This is the biggest thing I've ever worked on." I'm like, "I've worked on bigger," but for most of the people who are quite young, they've never worked on something that big, and we had
bigger. This is my biggest thing as well.
we had 30. Yeah, we had 30 cast and crew most of the time.
Right.
Yeah.
And one day we had 25 extras, so 55 people and 2 units filming simultaneously.
Yeah.
So
That's
I
a
was
huge
just
undertaking. For $10,000, that is a huge undertaking.
Yeah.
that mainly went towards petrol, and a couple of bits of costume, borrowed for 100 quid here and there.
Gotcha.
But 100. It was like basically £200, £100 here or there. Paying people just to do all their work for 8 days, 6 days, 7 days, and 2 night shoots. But it adds up,
Yeah,
So.
absolutely. I mean, 10,000 goes quick. I mean,
Yeah.
a lot of people don't understand how quickly that goes.
Yeah.
I mean, even myself. Hang on. Even myself. I remember being in film school, going, "Man, if I had $10,000, I could make the best movie ever." And of course, it's like you get out and you actually start working in production. You see how quickly all of that goes. So very impressive. I mean, just I can't sing my praises for you guys enough. Like, very impressive what you guys accomplished. All right, moving right along. What did you end up shooting most of the film on?
It was all on the Area Mira.
Okay,
the new,
gotcha.
Essentially the Alexa.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, Amira is their newest camera, right?
Well, the Arri
Minis.
the Mini is the newest one, which is like the same size as a Red.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Amira is kind of like they call it like the documentary camera, but other than anamorphic, which you can still shoot on anamorphic, but you've got to do various things to it in post.
Right.
The Amira is basically 4:4:4 color space, and it's great. It's brilliant. I didn't have to worry as much about if we're doing really long steady cam shots, I didn't have to light. I just kind of trusted the camera,
right,
and just shove loads of smoke in just to give it a lot of atmosphere.
Nice. Are you the steady cam op as well?
No,
Okay.
no. I leave that to people who know what they're doing. I was often doing the smoke. I basically would check see rehearsal, see how it went. Made my comments, and then saw a take, and then I went off and did all the smoke a lot of the time.
Gotcha.
Because I had to go like a mile upstream for like the smoke to drift down and all these things. So
Gotcha.
I was doing special effects as well.
which apparently you're experienced in.
Yeah.
Still didn't have people.
Yeah, still not enough people. Yeah.
So one of the questions you guys had mentioned that the fans might want to know is why was it shot in England? I think that's probably pretty obvious at this point, but do you think that affected the story at all? We've traditionally seen the Predator in
Yeah.
definitely a hotter, spicier sort of climate.
In terms
Yeah,
of
if we had because I always said from the very beginning, because Simon mentioned it'd be cool to have a scene in the rain, and I was like, they love the heat, we can't have that.
Right.
But
I
I
was
was like,
the summer rain. The summer rain.
it was one of those things. If we had the money, or yeah, great, we'd set it in Jerusalem, it'd be perfect. There's the heat, and you could still have the Muslim Templar
Right.
issues going on, which would be perfect. But with our money now, we was in England regardless, so we took a few liberties, and we was hoping we'd have nice weather. It wasn't raining and stuff, so
It didn't
so
rain.
Someone made a good point. I should have just added in a line in the script where they just went, "It's one of the hottest days of the year." And I made, but I didn't really think.
Well, hey.
It was. We were supposed to shoot in August when it was summer, but it kept getting pushed, and I was just like, let's just do it as long as it's before the longest, before the time change is over and it gets really dark.
Right.
Which was we actually finished on the week before the 31st or something, like the end of October.
Clocks changed, wasn't it?
Yeah, before the clocks changed. So we actually got an hour extra filming time, which was quite good on the night shoot.
Nice. How long did you guys shoot?
It was 6. We shot for 6 days, 7 days, and then 2 night shoots.
Okay.
Yeah.
So 6 days. That's
but it was to make it
not. Yeah.
But we did to make it like legal and for people like work wise and timing wise to give them days off and things like that. We did Thursday to Sunday, and then Thursday to Sunday.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see what's next. Another softball question. Predator versus Godzilla. Who wins?
That's Godzilla, isn't it? Easy.
Yeah.
Godzilla's always fighting.
Can I vote for Marshmallow Man?
Yes, the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
I think the Marshmallow guy from Ghostbusters would win.
All right, fair enough.
We just sit on the Predator's face.
So talk to me, guys, about the suit. So James, you knew somebody who had the suit?
Yeah, I was just literally one time I was going through Facebook and I saw this guy Philip Lane, and he had just a great costume. He wears it to conventions, and I was like, that's like one of the best costumes I've seen of Predator.
Nice.
So I was like, I'm going to drop him a message, see what he says. I was like, yeah, do you fancy doing like a medieval Predator film for a weekend? And he loved it. He goes, yes. He goes, I'm on board. So that was it. I was like, right, you know what? Now I've got a suit. We can make this happen. Because I've seen some people trying to build a suit to make the film, which is, probably a good idea because you can tailor it exactly to the film.
Right.
But that costs thousands of pounds to do that. And I thought, we've got a suit, so we can at least do a trailer and we don't need to worry about that part of it. And it looked great, I thought.
Very nice.
We had model makers who, because I did model making at uni, so we had a model maker make all the blades for the Predator.
Yep.
So because we were going to fight with them, but then we soon realised they'd have to be metal or something really strong to fight with, and that kind of led on to using a sword instead of his blades.
Gotcha.
But we had like 6 pairs of blades made out of different strength plastic, just to in case they broke. In the first fight and then in the second one.
They did break, a couple of them broke.
Yeah, and the helmet broke as well. The
man.
So that was like fiberglassing it and filling it, and yeah.
Gotcha. Well, the suit looked really great. I think maybe one of the critiques that me and Monica had was the nimbleness of the Predator. Definitely different.
It wasn't Jackie Chan, was it?
It wasn't Jackie Chan.
No, we originally was thinking about that, like, we could do like it's really great moves and stuff. And then I went and met Phil and I took the camera and I was like, right, let's film you in the costume and let's see what you can do. And it was literally And I was like, Simon, we're not getting much out of the suit, unfortunately. We're just going to have to wing it.
I had to film around it, basically.
Gotcha.
And I think I always said, like, let's never do a full reveal, like a full shot, in daylight or anything like. So like the only wide shot you see is the one where he's crawling away.
Yeah.
And he's like, I did like a 1980s, loads of smoke, sunset, silhouette, that kind of, nod to the original kind of thing. And that's the only really like wide shot you see.
Yeah.
And then obviously at night time you can get away with doing a bit wider shots. And then for the fight sequence, a few people said it was a bit jerky, but people are accustomed to that kind of filming now, I feel.
Yeah.
Especially like since the Bourne films, and
totally.
It's just, and like it's done quite a lot. It's done quite a lot, and it was more to cover up the kind of the Predator's movements, really, and just to save the costume from ruining it or anything.
Absolutely.
The movement, and it was I think the one bit we had a problem with was when he picked up the helmet and you sort of see his feet wobble.
Gotcha.
Which wasn't great, and when he's walking off, that's like the only wide shot, and you can't really avoid it, unfortunately.
Well, I mean, it's not like, by all means it wasn't distracting or terrible or anything like that. It didn't take me out of it. It was just, like if you have to nitpick about something, that would probably be the one thing to nitpick,
Yeah, we literally, and we didn't have that much time to choreograph the fights either, so it was quite tight, our schedule.
Yeah.
We just had to work best we could. But I think you covered it wrong, actually. Yeah, we got away with it.
Nice. On set hijinks. Every set has at least one day that is either the best, funniest day or the absolute worst, most nightmarish day. What was that for this film?
Every day.
It was hot every day. Quite funny was the horses.
That was quite funny.
When we decided, somebody decided, I think you, Simon, that they should walk through that little path on a hill like that. And
45 degrees.
Yeah, and then the first horse was it. It was John Camplin with Ahmed on the same horse. Then their horse, they fell off the horse, and then Joe Egan's and the horse behind, he fell off the horse. It was like everyone. It was like dominoes. It was like
then it happened again, and then people get falling off horses, so that's why we had stunt doubles.
Gotcha.
For all the galloping bits. That was all stunt doubles.
Yeah.
And it was the same guy who owned the horses. He does something called Knights of the Damned. Check them out.
All right.
And Knights of the Damned, they really helped us out, and they do jousting at loads of events. Yeah.
Nice.
Ben Lloyd Holmes, one of the actors, and Sabine Crossan, they were actually riding the horses on the.
Yeah, we had a
They didn't have stumpy.
Sabine and Ben were riding the horses, and that's how we got that one shot, or a couple of shots where it's shooting across the horse. So we've got like a rider here, cameras here, and then you see over there and you see a hand kind of going like that, and that was with a movie rig. Like the stunt guy was holding a movie rig.
Wow, that's awesome, man. Those things are really incredible.
We really wanted to make it. We really wanted those kind of shots, something that was different and we haven't seen before.
Yeah.
Just to try and sell it all in the opening few minose, give it a bit of scale before you get into a forest.
Right, where it starts condensing down. Yeah, totally makes sense. I mean, I got to tell you, those huge aerial shots you guys did. I mean, like you do anything like that, and you immediately double the production value. Like it's really tricks the viewer into thinking they're watching. Again, when I watched the preview, I was like, "Damn you, Hollywood!" So again, you guys did great.
Someone did say that everyone's got drones these days, and you're like, okay, but you kind of need some skill to operate it and get good shots.
You almost need 3 people at all times, basically.
They had two guys. Yeah.
Yeah. So okay, cool. Moving right along. What would you guys say was your it might be financial, but what was the biggest challenge for you guys?
Yeah, I would say for me, but not enough time. I would like to have longer, like an extra few days, like so you can have an extra day in the fight, an extra day in like the tent when we're all talking, just so you can just pace it out a bit more. We can work on some of the shots. Yeah, just so we wasn't trying to cram in like 25, was it, shot or 30 shots a day or.
Yeah, I mean, most. I mean, like the Avengers, they do like 3 shots a day, maybe 1.
Right.
We were doing like my normal ratio would be like from 20 to 25 shots. I'll try and do a day, but like in this, some days we did 15 but it was a lot of big Steadicam shots, and Steadicam shots take rehearsal and time, especially if it's running or talking and walking and all that kind of thing.
Right.
But we did the whole encampment. That was 1 day.
Yeah.
Plus the horses riding for the aerial stuff was on that same day, I think. So we had the horses for 2 days, but
Gotcha.
there was 2 units. What they were doing the aerial stuff with the stunt guys, but all the tent stuff and walking and talking, them arriving all on the same day, I think.
It was, yeah.
So it was, and like the fight with Ben Lloyd Holmes, the first fight, that was actually we caught up massively on that day. I think we did that whole scene in that day.
Gotcha.
So that's like like the net, which was CGI. We had like the head explosion. We had all these different things, green screen elements, all done on one day. Yeah. So it was pretty stressful.
Yeah, I can imagine. Speaking of, this is not on our list of questions, but speaking of CGI, who edited?
Who edited the film or did the special effects?
Well, edited, and then we can do the special effects.
Oh, well, I did the initial edit with Dragos, another guy, and we edited the film down, and then obviously we got a few tips from like Simon and some other people to sort of finesse it.
I edited the fight with a friend of mine called Bo Fowler, who's also a director, a fight director and director. So
okay, gotcha.
And James and me sort of cut it at the beginning, mainly James, and then we gave it to Dragos, who's a professional film editor, and then we took it back off him and tweaked it again, and it took a while to kind of get it right because we only had. It's not like we had coverage. We didn't have wide, 2-shot, single, close up, mid. We didn't have 1,000 versions of every shot.
Right.
We had like maybe 1 shot, and we're like, oh shit, that's all we've got.
Yeah.
So it was kind of literally we are filming what we are editing.
Yeah.
It's when you have no budget, you film what you're going to edit.
Yeah. I pretty much storyboarded all of the film, but then sometimes if it doesn't quite work, you're kind of like slightly screwed because you haven't got anything to use to help it.
Right. Well, but if you plan appropriately, you guys, I'm sure, have heard the proper planning prevents piss poor production.
Yeah.
So I mean, it shows. I mean, you guys obviously put some time and preparation into the product to make sure that once you got to the post, that I'm sure it made it a lot easier on yourselves. Who did the CG?
Yeah, it's several people. What's Lee's last name?
Lee Midcalf. He was our supervisor prior to it. We actually didn't have anyone on set, just supervising. But because I did some visual effects stuff in the past. It was basic, green screen, plate, and everything else. And then I think Lee did a bit. He did a lot of the Invisible Predator stuff.
Yeah, the cloaking version.
The decloaking stuff. And then James, who else? You got
I've got Steve Askey to come in, and he did like the CGI Predator gun and the net and just lots of other little tweaks. Yeah, the CGI arrow into the back. Yeah, literally, I didn't know if he could do some of this stuff, and it was the last minute. It was like, can you possibly do this? Because if you can't, I don't know what we're going to do.
Right.
He did stuff we didn't even ask him to. He did stuff we didn't know. I'm like, oh, he got rid of that. He's like, oh, wow. Yeah. That's amazing. And he's like, oh, I've improved on this a bit. And we're like, oh, even better. So,
nice. Do you know how he does how they do the cloaking? I've always wondered, and I've never.
Don't care.
Got me that.
It's just
as long as it's done.
He was green, and we have to play. Put it on, and
we had. If you've seen the behind the scenes stuff, Ben Lloyd Holmes played the blue gimp.
Gotcha,
with a blue welding helmet, with my welding helmet sprayed blue, and some like Rastafarian dreadlocks attached to it, and random pipes and things, just to kind of roughly give it a silhouette. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
What was quite funny was when Lee first brought us the cloaked effect. It was really good. It was like probably a bit like how it is in the latest Predator films, but you could hardly see it. It was so good, and I was like, we got to go back to the old retro first one where it's just sort of like ripples.
Right.
retro it up, and he sent it back. I was like, that's perfect. That's what we want.
Gotcha. Nice, nice. All right, another softball question. Have you guys seen? You've seen the Power Rangers fan film, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
So now who wins? Those dudes or the Predator?
Predator.
Easy. They all killed anyway, didn't they? They all got wiped out.
That's
Yeah,
so
they got taken
One of them was
down.
on crack or something. And no, man, they're a mess now.
They're totally different films, aren't they? And like I said, I don't know if I was big headed or what. When it came out, I said you guys should wait and see what we have in store for you. You know, when Predator comes out, and then people said, "Oh, don't be so big headed." I'm like, well, ours is all practical. Ours is all real. Ours is all, we don't have an army of CGI guys.
Right.
We've got like 2 guys, or 3 guys, and and we're not relying on just adding the whole Minority Report shit in.
Right.
It looks good though.
And also I think the fight scene with the Black Ranger wasn't that great.
Right.
He kind of looked like a fat guy in a suit trying to fight, and that's how I wouldn't have shot the fight. I mean, yeah, our Predator suit was a little like chunky and lumpy at times, but at least the fight sequences look good.
Right. Yeah.
So I think they're 2 very different films. Yeah,
I agree. I completely agree. Okay, so 2 more questions. What's in the future for you guys? Can we expect another film?
Well, we're at a crossroads now, aren't we? Really, what to do? I mean, loads of people saying we should do more of this. But it was so hard work, wasn't it? Having to do another Kickstarter.
It was painful. We were speaking to Joey Answer, who did the Street Fighter series, and he said, I would totally do a little mini series. I think it's a great idea, and I think we could do like a mini series through Kickstarter, and I think we would get obviously a lot more money than last time.
Yeah.
And a lot more because people can see what we can do.
Yeah.
We're considering it. We're definitely considering it. And at the same time, we'd like to expand on the characters that we've sort of been developing over the last year on this film,
Right.
and make it a feature film, but obviously change the Predator to something else and make it more like my Brotherhood of the Wolf,
Gotcha.
kind of 13th Warrior kind of thing.
Very cool. Very cool. So you guys do intend to continue working with one another. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I think we definitely, like the feature idea is because we had so many other ideas that we didn't get to use.
Right.
So we had like loads and other characters and visiting a village and all different stuff. So it'd be good to, like Simon says, go back and sort of explore all that again.
We want to film in a hot country. We want to film in Jerusalem.
Yeah.
Or make it look
That's
like
still
Jerusalem.
Okay, excellent, guys. Well, then the last question I have, and this will wrap it up, and then you guys can close on anything else that you'd like to say. Last softball question is Predator or Jeepers Creepers?
I don't think I've even seen Jeepers Creepers all the way through.
Technically, he can't die, can he? The Jeepers Creepers guy, he can't die. So he
could still. Predator could still win a fight theoretically.
I guess he could pin him up. He could beat him up long enough, and then doesn't he go to sleep into a coma for like 20 years?
Like a cocoon.
Yeah. Yeah. I think Predator would definitely beat him up.
It's just a moth, isn't it? It's just like an angry moth.
It's over the harpoon gun and stuff, but he can't die.
I think the Predator's not exactly. I think aliens are stronger than a Predator in a way because they're naturally really strong. Whereas like the Predator's just got like gizmos.
Predator's got more strength than an alien, I'd say.
I'll take on a Predator. Shake and I will.
Excellent, guys. Well, anything else you want to say? Anywhere that I should be directing people to go? Other than the YouTube.
So that's it, and the Facebook page, isn't it? We've got what is our Facebook
page? Predator. Just look up Predator Dark Ages. You'll find it.
Then I'll put that in the link. I'll put that in the description.
And Twitter as well. Predator. I think it's _DA.
Yeah. That's it, yeah.
Excellent. Any personal websites for your guys' film stuff?
I've got www.jamesbush with an E .co.uk.
That is
not
not Boucher.
It's not Boucher.
Oh no,
I
I
wish
was
it was Boucher. I wish that's a really good name. You should change that. Boucher is much better. And mine's srcinematography.co.uk.
Okay, excellent. I'll make sure to put those in the description below. Guys, thanks so much for doing this. It's been a blast. I really appreciate it.
Thank
No
you for having
worries.
us. It's been awesome.
Hey, if you get any more promotional material to throw out there, make sure to hit us with it, and I'll we'll review it again.
Wicked.
All
right, guys, appreciate it.
Thanks a lot.
Cheers. Thank you. Take
Peace.
care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
So guys, that was the interview. What did you think? Make sure to let me know in the comments section below. And as always, like, subscribe, Facebook, Twitter, and now Instagram. Also, make sure to look at those links that we talked about in the interview. They'll be in the description below. MovieHolics!